The novel I had chose for my culminating book unit project was Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. Written by Douglas Adams in 1979, it was turned into a full-length feature film by Garth Jennings in 2005. I will begin by giving a brief background on the characters and the actual plot of the novel, considering how strange and complicated it is. Now, Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy is about the main character, Arthur Dent, who is saved by his friend Ford Prefect, who is actually an alien. When the world is about to be destroyed to make room for an intergalactic stellar highway, Ford hitches a ride on one of the enemy's spaceships to save himself and Arthur. They are eventually found out, leading them to getting booted off the ship and being found by Zaphod and Trillian. It is then they travel to a planet called Margathea, which is known for building planets. Earth number 2 is constructed. The main character, Arthur Dent, is played by Martin Freeman. The casting choice as well as the outfit is well done. Zaphod Beeblebrox, played by Sam Rockwell, is another good casting choice, and the wardrobe for him is fine. In general, the wardrobe and props for all the characters and scenes were fine. Now in the book, Zaphod is an eccentric, irresponsible, self-centered, and narcissistic character, yet his charisma generally helps others ignore his faults. In the movie, he keeps these traits, however he is viewed as stupid. He makes idiotic mistakes and says rather chauvinistic things. This succeeds in making the audience dislike him as a romantic interest, as he is also in competition with Arthur Dent for Trillian's affections. But I'll get to that when I talk about Trillian. And you can see from these images that Zaphod Beeblebrox has 2 heads. Ford Prefect is a pragmatic and open-minded man who loves alcohol and having a good time. In the novel, his appearance is described as a ginger-haired man, which he is most definitely not in the movie. In the Hollywood adaptation, he is portrayed by the rapper Mos Def, a black man. His acting is good, but a choice most likely used to bring the representation on the film. Now, Trillian is another character who has an incorrect casting choice. If the goal of Mos Def was representation rather than accuracy, it would have been found in Trillian. In the novel, she is described as a person of color, and widely considered someone of Middle Eastern roots. In the novel, she is characterized as a slim, darkish humanoid with long waves of hair, a full mouth, an odd little knob of a nose, and ridiculously brown eyes. Zooey Deschanel, with her blue eyes, pale skin, and hair in a ponytail, does not match this description. Trillian's relationship with Arthur and Zaphod is brought front and center throughout the movie. Zaphod was seen calling her babe and ordering her around, making the audience dislike him as a love interest rather quickly. Arthur was seen as sweet and loving towards her, when in the book he and Zaphod had the very same intentions. In the book, she is introduced along with Zaphod, and we only find about her and Arthur meeting at a party later on. In the novel, Arthur pines over her, pictures of them together on his phone, and deep regret of not leaving to go to Madagascar after only knowing her for a few hours. She appears to be unable to go by herself, needing a man to take her somewhere to feed her appetite for adventure, regardless if she finds it in Arthur or Zaphod. In all actuality, Trillian was indifferent to Arthur's attempt at picking her up at the party, and ambivalent towards her in the spaceship throughout the book. When there was no romance in the novel, the Hollywood adaptation pumped it full of sappy lines and barely concealed pining over one another. The scene I will be talking about has not happened in the novel. Before the scene was added, the crew was traveling to Margathea, but needed to stop on the new planet for directions. While on this planet, Trillian gets captured and taken to the Vogon home planet Bogsphere. The Vogons are the species that destroyed Earth in the beginning. The setting has not been a part of the novel, other than passing reference saying it had been long abandoned.
I checked the guide for the best way to rescue a prisoner from Bogsphere. It said don't.
Jennings seems to add a completely new scene for the soul's sake of comedy. There are strange creatures that keep slapping them in the face. Such creatures had never been mentioned in the book.
Nothing. It's nothing. It's just my imagination. Oh! Okay, right now, stop! Everyone...
The lighting is almost cheerful, using the moment for comedy. The wide-shot filming is used to establish the environment the scene is in. This allows the audience a better visual on what kind of planet the men have landed on. Jennings adds new characters and worlds that have no impact on the actual plot. This scene shows how he adds traditional Hollywood ideals to a novel so different in that regard. Jennings used his directorial liberties and decided to overuse sexist tropes.
I think... What was that? Gee!
I'd make a suggestion, but you wouldn't listen. No one ever does.
I have an idea.
Here, the men are seen crossing the desert to enter the Vogon city to rescue Trillian.
Okay? Don't think. Nobody think. No ideas. No theories. No nothing.
This crazy trillion is in there somewhere, and we need an idea to help save her.
I have an idea.
The music is heroic and upbeat, creating an appropriate atmosphere for the heroes to go rescue the damsel in distress. The buildings look a lot like their spaceships, giant flashy cubes. The actual planet appears to be made out of desert where there are no buildings.
Okay, son, not thinking. No ideas, Cameron. Alright, this isn't an idea that has any merit at all, but Marvin, can you give me a hand?
The robot sees them as Marvin. He offers his arm to the boys to use as a pretend weapon. The fact no one is there when they break into the Vogon office is used as a comedic effect. Though hard to see, the transitions are smooth and the camera work is well done. In this clip, despite the horrendous quality, it shows a completely new character, Kessler Ronta, who does not exist in the book. In case it's not clear, the ugly creature questioning Trillian is a Vogon.
Sorry, no record of Earth. Galactic Sector ZZ9 plural B Alpha. Yes.
She's lying. She's skinny and she's pretty and she's lying.
Oh, yes.
In this clip, she's verbally bashing Trillian for the sole reason of her traveling with Zaphod.
Destroyed.
Rontok is desperately in love with Zaphod, and in the end becomes his romantic interest. Because if Zaphod can't have Trillian, he has to have someone else. The women in this movie are regulated to their roles as romantic interests. Fooling two women characters of actual names, they are pitted against one another because of a man. In terms of feminism, it does it quite poorly. These added scenes only contributed to the idea of men needing to rescue women. The scene does not add anything to the actual plot.
He said the gray building, right?
The hardcore fans of this book and the audience will be disappointed with the differences between the novel and the movie. The love story may be especially unappreciated considering there was no romance in the book. The romance and the new woman character may be an attempt to broaden the audience, providing a little something for everyone. Viewers who have not read this book may enjoy the movie for its comedy and abstract concepts.